Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Next Gen Cattle Podcast. This week, we're really excited to have Cam Davidson on. I think Cam's one of those kids that is a real keener and loves to learn and always is asking lots of questions. So, hope you all enjoy.
And our supreme champion female is our national champion, Charlet. I feel the power of Kim Bullock.
She's not just a lady for a day, she's lady for life. Weekland lady, 211 and Weekland bull.
They've done it again. Our grand champion, supreme champion, Weekland Cattle Company. Did you feel the tremor? KR Tremor 70.
Welcome to the Next Gen Cattle Podcast.
If you're a cattle producer who understands that stress, environment, and transition directly impact performance, this will resonate. We're Kim and Jackie from Grow Your Life, where we support producers behind the scenes because regulated humans make clear decisions that protect the bottom line. We also teach AIM, the Animal Intuitive Method, a practical body-based system used with cattle herds to help animals settle, realign, and return to function during calving, weaning, hauling, breeding, and change. When people and animals are regulated, losses go down and outcomes improve. Find us at Grow Your Life with Kim and Jackie on Apple and Spotify and at aimhealing.ca.
Welcome everybody to episode, I guess we're at 16 here now of the Next Gen Cattle Podcast. We're really excited to have Cam Davidson on this week, so welcome, man.
Yeah, Mitch, appreciate you inviting me on. I have been watching this podcast pretty closely. Pretty excited about the whole deal. Appreciate it a lot.
Maybe just get started, Cam, by talking about kind of your family operation, what goes on there.
So, I guess my parents, Ross, Tara, and I have three siblings, a twin brother, Ash, younger sister, Jamie, a little brother, Flynn, and I. We own and operate Lonesome Dove Ranch, south of Swift Current, near Pontex here. We own and operate about 800 mama cows, 600 commercial cows, and about 200 registered purebred Gelbvieh cows. Yeah, we have an annual bull sale March 6th, the first Friday, I guess. This year marks our 37th annual, and yeah, we sell about 100 plus Gelbvieh bulls. You bet.
Awesome. That would have been like, this operation's been in your family then for a couple generations, or?
So my grandparents, Vern and Eileen, own and operate Davidson Gelbvieh. My mom and dad, I guess, started Lonesome Dove Ranch in 2005. So, yeah, just started
Sweet.
it from the ground up. And yeah, my grandma and grandpa have been running Gelbvieh cattle for 40 some years, that's for sure.
Oh, awesome. Sweet. Super
bet.
cool. It's cool to see the family kind of, even if you guys are running, I guess, different operations on paper, you guys still work together quite a bit then, or?
Yeah, we're 2 miles across, or like from each other. And yeah, like I'm just in the sale barn here. And yeah, we sell bulls together, and we every day see each other work together. Our bulls are in the same pens. Like, yeah,
sure.
we're a very family orientated program, I guess.
For sure. Which is great, right? Like, you guys can kind of, run your own individual operations the way you choose, but then still at the end of the day, if you need help or, you sell bulls together, or whatever it may be, you can still do all
have
that.
supper together too. Like, yeah, and we're really fortunate, I think, to have each other. Just even bounce off of each other for ideas and stuff too. Like,
100%, for sure.
For sure.
Kind of, how'd you get your start in showing, Cam? I know you've kind of, worked your way up in the ranks, and I know you're pretty damn good with a set of clippers now. So kind of, how did you get started in that?
I appreciate that, Mitch. So I guess my grandparents have been showing cattle, and my dad, I guess, too, grew up showing. I kind of started showing around like about 3 or 4, probably, just, the peewee events at, summer shows, young ranchmen's, Agribition, just kind of grew up around it all. My Uncle Tyler, always we always used to watch him, and he helped us, get a start too. And yeah, it's pretty good, all of it. I know my family has been showing cattle in Denver, Farm Fair, Exhibition for many, many years.
For sure. And you enjoy that side, just as much as the day-to-day stuff, or?
I yeah, I love showing cattle. I love like fitting cattle, like anything involved with that. I really like showing cattle. I'm also like big into like pedigrees and marketing cattle. That's what really interests me probably.
For sure. And it's nice, right? Because it goes hand in hand. For sure.
Yeah, very much so.
For sure. What kind of, I guess this is a little bit of a tough question for you, but what's kind of one thing that you feel, might get overlooked, when young people are starting in the industry? Like, let's use you, for example, like one thing that, maybe you might go back and kind of try to change, or that you might take a different path for, I guess.
I just like for myself, seeing my parents and grandparents so successful and raising really good cattle, like I think it's important to just be strict on quality. It might take a few bulls that you turn into steers before you get your first bull. I think it's just really important to not be afraid to, you know, have a few not as good ones to get a really good one. I think quality really matters in today's industry, and I think you just really just have to have it, or else there's really no point. Being like if you kept all your bulls, it'd be a lot harder to be successful and sell them for big dollar
For sure.
on today's market. That's
For
kind of
sure.
what
And
I find.
yeah,
And
100%.
yeah, absolutely. And just like, I don't know, like another thing I kind of thought about too is just not being afraid of talking to like pretty much anyone in the industry, people making it to the top ranks. Like, I think, they all started somewhere too. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Like,
For
you,
sure.
uh, you, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think going back to the bull thing too, right? I think, in the days that we're kind of going into with, bulls, I think 10 years ago, buying a, $6,000-$7,000 bull, you could probably do a lot more of than this year or last year, probably towards the future for sure. So I think definitely selling a product that you can stand behind, and regardless if someone spends 15,000 or 100,000, being able to stand behind the product that you're selling and say like this will work for you, and this, unless obviously injuries and random freaks of nature happen, but a product that you can stand behind and that is gonna last a decent amount of years to go on to produce great offspring and protege for the buyer, and not only then have some value at the end of it too, right? For And not just use the bull for 2 years and then he ends up in the auction mark for sure.
Yeah, I agree completely. And like just being confident and like really proud of what you have to offer too. Like I just think to have really good ones it takes time. And I'm sure if you asked, people who are selling, six figure animals, it didn't just happen overnight. I think
100%.
it ta-
For sure.
it takes time. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think one thing that goes with that really well too is probably when you're starting, the quality over quantity, right? And like, I'll be the first one to admit, when I first started getting into Angus, you're watching a sale and it's like, she's only $4,500, and especially I think this day and age with the online stuff, it's very easy to get sucked into the old like, oh, she's only 6,000. Well, she's worth 4,000 at the mart, so I'm really only spending $2,000 on a purebred animal. And sometimes it does work out in your favor where you have kind of a diamond in the rough that you get some luck with. But I think a lot of the time what happens is that female or bull comes into your herd, and then you spend more time and more money trying to solve the problems that animal might bring in versus what she's going to put out, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I couldn't agree more. Like just in like you sometimes I like this industry and day and age, you have to spend money to make money.
100%.
Like it not definitely not all cattle in this industry are good, and it shows. Like, but
For sure.
like just to raise consistent, buy consistent and good cattle. I think
You kind of know what your kind of game plan is too, right? What kind of works in your herd, because when you think about when you go to a, exhibition or any show for that matter, like when you walk through the barns and think, you have two completely different ends of the spectrum of, cattle. And we talked about that on a previous podcast, sticking true to kind of what your program is and what you feel that, you can market the best and sell the best. And that's what you take, right?
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
I guess going with that question, if you had to start all over again, from, I know you're on the younger side of things, but if you had to, start fresh, right from square one, what's one thing that you'd probably change, maybe compared to what your parents might have done now?
Like maybe just like, I don't know, just like accept it, or like taking on as many opportunities as, that are set out for you. It just, if there's something even little that could help benefit your future, I think, take that, because even just meeting a person that maybe won't affect you, maybe tomorrow or even the next year, but maybe in 10 years, 15 years, like just be like, I don't know. I just think of like every relationship, that it could be endless, right? Like,
Sure.
future friend or even bull buyer. Like, I think it's just important to, you know, stay close with many people in the industry, and just people in general for that matter.
For sure. And I think whether you know it or not, Cam, you're really good at that too, right? I think all the crews that I've been fortunate enough to work on, a lot of the times we kind of end up fitting with each other, fitting on the same. That speaks a lot to your character too, in terms of being so personable and meeting people and making new connections, right? Whether you help someone once or you help someone 10 times, just to have that connection and make that connection to show what you can do and do a good job. And if they need someone, then they have Cam to call, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot, Mitch. You're a fun guy to work with and like learn from too. I know, yeah, like I know from a few years ago, just kind of starting out, just with a comb and a can of glue, you've really helped me, been
I
someone to watch
appreciate
too.
that, yeah.
And
And
you
and
and
one cool thing about you too, Cam, I think nowadays I see it more, and with my age, I see it a lot more. Is guys come, or girls or whoever it is, they come and it's like, okay, okay, and I'll never forget. I think it would have been 2 or 3 years ago with Prairie Cove. It was like, I think you were on like offside, like front leg, which is like where everyone kind of starts, right? And
you
you
bet.
finished, and then you didn't leave. You stayed and you watched and you were asking questions, and that's one thing that I can really appreciate when people that are trying to learn do that, right? Because it shows that you're keen. It shows that you care, right? It's not like you're not just there to do it so you get to stand in the backdrop, or just do it because you can, right? It's like you actually care about what's happening and why we're doing what we're doing. It's cool to see. The future is bright, that's for sure.
I appreciate that, Mitch. Yeah, and just I just like the reason I kind of do that, I'd say, is just, there's if you could use an opportunity, like an opportunity is one thing, but using it to the fullest extent is another. Like,
100%.
just yeah, for
For
sure.
sure. What do you think your favorite show would be that you've got to go to so far?
Well, there's like my favorite annual show would probably have to be like the local Young Ranchmans in Swift Current. I think it's just run by some really, really great people and just a really fun week. It's kind of local. I don't know. It's just a good time. And then, yeah, like probably one of the coolest shows I've ever went to is Denver, obviously. It's just,
For sure.
just overwhelming, and in terms of goodness. Like, I was fortunate to go in 2024, and yeah, it was a pretty good year.
Oh, it's such a cool atmosphere, and I think it's a nice change for us too, right? Because normally by that time here, it's cold and it's windy and it's gross, and then you go there, and I guess depending on the year, you kind of go and you get like a fresh breath of fresh air, and you get to see new things and meet new people, and I think that part's super cool for sure.
It's so fun, yeah.
What would your most memorable moment be, you think?
Probably, yeah, probably Denver 2024. I was pretty fortunate with my Sapphire Jewel heifer to be slapped reserve champion overall Gelbe female down there, and I thought that was pretty cool. Just
So cool. Dude,
for
I'll never forget. And like, I wasn't in the ring, but well, I did go in the ring once in Denver, and that's like when it was up on the hill still. And I remember like I'm not a showman, and for all of you that know me, I try to stay out of the ring if I can. It's not really my expertise by any means, but there is something about going in and like showing in Denver, and I think like being in that ring and having an experience like that, like how cool is that for sure?
Yeah, like, and just like in the old stadium too, that was pretty cool. Just
Oh, totally. And I'll
and then
never
you look.
forget the first time I went walking up like the little ramp when you go in, and it's just like, wow, like
Yeah,
this is what it feels like.
yeah, it just all hits you, and yeah, it's really cool.
For sure, for sure. I guess sticking with kind of the show theme, what's one thing that, either you yourself or you feel that people, can't skip out on in the show barn?
I think just time and just experience. Like, I'm really fortunate to have I guess an 8-year-old brother and a 13-year-old sister and myself, and just like lots of people in the barn, just like lots of people leading different animals. Like when I'm just halter breaking calves or yearlings or whatever it is, it just people around, and just I'm fortunate that they're so interested in it too, that they just want to be a part of it too. And yeah, and just time under the fan, just lots of rinsing, lots of blowing. Yeah, like
For
I
sure.
just
Well, and I think just the biggest thing is time too, right? Like I think a lot of people, and I think this is one thing that, when we're doing these fitting clinics and clipping clinics, that we're trying to harp on these kids a lot, and I'm sure some of them are so sick of listening to us, but it's time, right? It's just being out there and wanting to do it. And I think when Sam and I talk about it, and because we'll get a lot of, messages or emails or texts, and it's like, my kid just doesn't want to be out there. And it's like, well, there's two reasons why, at least in my opinion. It's they don't have the itch to do it, or it's not easy. Because I think, and we talked about this last week on Sam's podcast, was, if the easier you can make it, regardless of how hardworking of a person you are, the easier you make it, the more you will do it. And,
yeah.
I think that thing with our place now is, what I said last week was, trying to get it, easy, and, just you run calves in, it's the same every day. It's, you need to do this. It's easy. Right. And I think that's, one thing that in show barns, I think people do overlook a little bit, and is, the ease of doing it. And, I think definitely one thing, making it easy for yourself, and trying to make it efficient that, you can get as many done as fast as you can. And, to the quality that you want to have it done to.
Yeah, and just like yeah, like this summer, like we kind of like we have like I guess a barn, like a hip roof barn that's turning 100 next year, which is really cool. And
Totally.
like it's in incredible shape. Like the cement was poured in 1927, and it's just it's incredible. Like not even cracked out or nothing, Mitch. Like,
That's crazy.
and like the
And just
one
to
lean
think, like, I love all that history stuff. Like, just to think how many people, and like, all the stories that have been told inside of that barn, right? Is just like blows your mind.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like we every year put like 1,500 straw square bales in the roof of it, and it's used like it's our main calving barn now. Like
Yeah.
it just like yeah, like so I got like
So
I guess
cool.
I ordered a bale of cedar mulch, and it just that, and like getting some fans set up and just having a hydrant
For sure.
outside to rinse cattle, and then kind of get in like a rotation, like with my siblings too, get my sister blowing and like me washing, or my little brother blowing, and it all works out pretty good. Like just like, making it convenient. I think we have the
For sure.
like once you get the itch, you make it convenient. I think like
Oh,
I
100%.
find myself. I
100%.
think
Yeah.
I think it just needs to come like just thinking about it, like the itch, like some people just don't love it and some people do, and it just
Yeah. For sure. And I think for some people, especially like now doing these clinics, if you would ask me at the beginning of the clinic what kids have just like naturally just comes to them very easily, you can pick out 3 or 4, but by the end of it, there is a lot of kids that, once you start to kind of like show them the basics, and encourage them to get out of their comfort zone and try something different and try it. I think that also really helps too. And I think with experience and, you know, actually doing it comes like that itch will come to them for sure.
yeah, I completely agree.
For sure. Where do you kind of see yourself going in the next 10 years? I guess if you have like any goals for yourself or kind of what your plans are.
Well, I'm in grade 10 right now, so probably finish high school in the next few, and then probably like for post-secondary, I'll probably go to a college of some sort or, a university, and it'd be neat to maybe get into like some livestock judging and uh, you know, after that maybe move back home and just maybe pursue something in marketing, or like I'd like to have maybe a purebred operation of my own and just marketing, registered cattle and, even commercial cattle, and just I see myself maybe like even connecting more, I think, with like the commercial producer. And I think in our industry today, that's where most of the money lies. And that and there's definitely big dollar bulls on the market, but I think just consistency, a lot of that comes from our commercial side of things. And I think it's important, like, there's a lot of marketers nowadays, selling bulls for a lot of purebred guys and to other purebred guys. But I think of myself maybe just, getting into that and just selling like a lot of bulls to more commercial, orientated guys.
For sure. Does going to the States for the judging like interest you at all, or you'd like to stay kind of in
And
Canada?
I think it'd be really interesting to go to the States. I talked to a few people, and it's really neat to hear their success and what they've found out. And I just think the connections at the end of the day is it all, right? Like,
For sure. For sure.
yeah,
What's who do you think your biggest role model is, in terms of life or clipping or fitting or, just in general?
I like my parents. Like, they're really good people, and they've taught me so much. Just my dad's done pretty much everything. He's big horse guy too. Like, he's as handy on a horse with a rope too as anyone I know. And my mom, she's just a great lady, and she yeah, they're both just great people. And I think just really impactful in the industry too. I think just two people that have taught me everything I know. And they expect us kids to do a lot, but like in terms of just how we act and expect a lot out of us. But I think since they do that, I think it makes us better as people and humans at the end of the day. Yeah, I just appreciate them, and how letting letting me accept as many opportunities as I've had. And yeah, I just appreciate them so much.
For sure, 100%. Well, they raised a good one. I'll tell them that for free.
I appreciate that, Mitch, a lot.
What this is a little another tricky one for you. If you had to make an all-star fitting crew to work on an animal, who would they be? But they all have to be under the age of 21.
Well, my siblings and I, we often, have to fit lots together. They're really good. Like, they're a pretty good dream team. And then as well as, there's a few people in the industry. I have a really, really good buddy, Dryden Robertson. He's helped us lots at Agribition and Farm Fair. And I fit a bit with, Becca Lees. She's pulled a few legs beside her, and she's really handy too with the comb. And I just think Owen Wilms, I've seen that guy do some pretty sweet fit jobs, and I think he's pretty handy with a comb. And Taylor Reed's is, I think, consistent a fitter as they come too. I think that'd be a pretty neat team too. They could do a lot with pretty much anything that's given to them.
Yeah, definitely a lot of a lot of big names there for sure that do a great job. No matter what breed it is, or bulls, heifers, cows. I think you got her covered there, Cam.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get into the host gets hosted question here now. If you got a couple of questions for me, I'd do my best to answer.
Absolutely. If you ask yourself 15 years ago that you would be where you are right now, would you believe it or not?
No.
Yeah, like,
I think growing up, I always had aspirations of showing and kind of basically doing what I do now. But it was when I started, man, I was as green as they came. Like, one of the first times one of my first 4-H heifer, I guess, that I ever would have had at my house. She was a purebred Simmental heifer, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because, at that point in time, I was very much on the, get a quiet animal and make sure she's quiet and she leads and all that. And she had, no hair and it was dead and whatever. And my first achievement day, I remember going and I was dead last. And there was like 15 heifer calves and I was dead last. And I remember being so distraught because I was like, I spent so much time and effort into blah, blah, blah and doing all this. And then, I think kind of as, life progresses, I think just, and it goes back to what you said too, the connections, right? You try your best to meet people and to make those connections. And then, everything just kind of starts to fall into place, right? It's, yeah, I never would have imagined or never could have imagined, everything that's kind of happened and the way it all kind of happened and everything. Super fortunate for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like that's really cool to like kind of reflect on that too. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
just to
and
see how far
I think now too with the podcast, hearing kind of, people talk and their stories, that I think it hits a little harder now. It's like, everyone's got a story and that's one thing that I've been trying to reflect on, I guess, is remembering where you came from and being thankful for the moment. And there's always going to be points in time where you're not happy or there's a situation that might be a little more challenging. But I think, thinking back and being like, 10-year-old Mitch or 11-year-old Mitch would have been very, very happy, even to be in this situation. Right. So I think that's one of the really cool things about, trying to reflect a little more on, where you came from for sure.
absolutely. Like that was cool how you said it too. Like, yeah, I appreciate that. Um, if you could get one embryo for free out of any cow, what cow would that be and why?
Oh, that's a good one, Cam.
Like it's tough. Like,
Yeah. I might be a little biased here, but I think you got to go back to a Berkeley. I
oh,
think,
I completely agree.
I
Yeah.
think, spending a lot of time with Tyler and Justine and that every time we bring up Berkeley, it's always about the one flush, right? Like that one flush brought, the cow that won Supreme got Husk and, just so many, that whole kind of, that one flush produced so many, high dollar females. I think if you could just get, one full sip of Berkeley, I think you'd be pretty set, and for a Charlet, of not just a Charlet, but in any breed, to do what, that cow's done, I think to, win as a calf, a bred, and then as a cow and win Supreme, I think, super cool for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like that's a pretty neat cow. Like I think
Totally.
in any breed, if that cow was painted any color, she'd just excel at what she does. As well as like this summer, I was fortunate to show a Berkeley, and she did really good. She won like the whole open show at Bashaw. That was pretty
That's all
neat.
right. Which, so
And it
that female, I'm pretty sure came out of one of those, that original flush, that like the cow that just won Edmonton like 2 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And Husk, and I'm pretty sure they all came out of the same flush. So, like it's, proof
and
proof is in the pudding for sure.
and I'd say like the versatility like of that all, like just they're kind of like different looking, but they're really neat animals.
For sure. 100%.
Like and I appreciate that about like them flushes too.
Yeah.
That Husk bull was really cool. That was a cool bull to work on. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
he was awesome.
And then last one here. What is your go-to beverage after show day?
Oh, I'm gonna go with a Caesar. I just on the way home tonight, I picked one up, and before we got on here, I just was doing some, house chores because I'm back to batching it for another month. Sam's back down to Oklahoma, and yeah, I think Caesars. I
Absolutely.
don't love them at shows. I'm not a big Caesar guy at a show, but I think, every once in a while to decompress and just kick back and have a good Caesar, I think you're doing pretty good.
For sure, man.
For sure. Well, we'll get into these rapid fire questions to round it off here, Cam.
Yeah.
Favorite pump up song, or what your pump up song is?
I like some good Creedence Clearwater. That gets me going, and then for a rap song, there's probably there's some good songs like big Lil Wayne guy, Let It All Work Out, and
For sure.
yeah,
No
for
T
sure.
Swift like Brady Hassan, eh?
No, not quite.
There you go. Favorite restaurant?
Oh, I'm a big Olive Garden guy. Like
Oh, I know
the
you
all you can
can't
eat,
go wrong with Olive Garden, that's for sure.
the salad, and the just it all. It's pretty darn sweet.
Totally, totally. Um, no tie-out times or open bars at shows?
Gosh, this kind of reflected. I seen a lot of people talking about the no tie out time
Yeah,
on your.
yeah,
That was a big one. I don't know. Open bar's pretty good, man.
that would be.
Probably have to.
I was
Probably
I
would
was
have to
trying to
go
think
with
about this one
free
myself. I was
booze.
like, I don't know if you could actually like. I think the open bar, and then probably I think if the only disadvantage I think to having an open bar would be that I think stuff would probably get pretty rowdy pretty quick.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And that at shows would probably have to get into the security and all
Yeah,
that in their hands.
for sure, for sure. Um, what's one song that when it comes on the radio makes you cringe every time?
Oh, probably like Pocket Full of Sunshine. Not a big
Oh, that is. I would that. I
like.
guess you would have just been a baby when that song was coming out. Like when it
Yeah, it just like
originally launched. Yeah,
when it pops up, it just I don't know. It may be over listened to by my brother or something. I don't know, man. Like,
just the cringe every time, eh?
yeah, just like turn it off.
Yeah, fair enough. And the last one, your least favorite job around the farm.
Probably, man. Like shoveling grain. I'm not a bit. I don't love shoveling grain at all. It just every time it's just like, just
Yeah,
not
and
not fun to.
that's what I always said to Sam. I said if we ever get to the point where we have a bunch of grain bins, I said there will not be a flat bottom bin at our farm ever.
Oh yeah, and at our farm we have about I don't know quite a few of them. We've got maybe two hopper bottom bins.
Yeah, that's the same at work. It's all flat bottoms, and it's the worst. And it's like, and we grain back everything out, but it's still like it's just it's such a monotonous job, and it's just you think that you'll get a little bit farther with the grain back, and then you just end up shoveling it all anyways.
Oh yeah, and like depends on the grain, and sometimes the grain is just so dusty and
Yeah.
not good.
We just did a bunch of canola, and the thing that I hate about the most about with canola shoveling is when you get down to that bottom kind of layer, it's just like little marbles. So you're trying to shovel, and then your feet are sliding out from under you, and it's just a total
Oh,
pain in the ass. That's for sure.
oh yeah, it's junk. Absolutely,
Well, thanks for coming on, Cam. I really appreciate it, bud. It was good to have you on, and you got a lot of you got a really bright future ahead of you. That's for sure. It's always fun to have you around and to catch up with you at shows and chats. So we'll hopefully get to see you here in the next couple months and catch up in person.
absolutely, Mitch. I really appreciate being called on because I really like what you're doing here too. It lets people tell their story a bit too, and learn about someone else, right? Like, there may be someone that I don't know, but now I have a good excuse to go talk to him, right? Like,
Exactly, for sure.
I
For sure.
appreciate that a lot, and the whole mock stock thing too. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, thanks. We're pretty excited. At first it kind of started off as just kind of a thing for us to take the clinics, and then kind of once we kind of started putting it together, it kind of you know turned into something more pretty quick. And yeah, we're very thankful for all the orders and the feedback, and yeah, we're excited for the future of it for sure. We'll see where it goes.
Absolutely, no, that sounds really good,
Yeah,
Mitch.
in your direction.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sounds great.
Uh,
Well, thanks again, Cam. I appreciate it, bud. And we'll catch up soon.
yeah, keep in touch. Bye, Mitch.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to episode 16 with Cam. It was great to catch up, and it's always fun to chat with one of your buddies and see what they're up to. So we'll catch you guys next time.